Hello fam, welcome back to the channel. This is Precious Styling. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome to the family, and if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for always stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to show how I cut and sew this chic dress using only 2 yards of fabric. And without delay, let's get started. So I'm using 2 yards of fabric for this project, but you can use 3 yards or 4 yards according to your body size and according to how long you want the dress to be, either by the sleeves or like the overall length. And I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into 4. I folded it along the length rather than the width. The length of this fabric is 51 inches and I folded it into 4. So as you can see, I am cutting both the front and the back together. Okay, so I folded it one piece like this is going to be the front. So what I have on fold now is about 4 pieces folded together, and this is on fold, as you can see. So right now we're going to determine the neck width, and the neck width I'm using is 3 inches. I really hope you can see the lines I'm making. This right here represents my shoulder. My shoulder span is 14 inches. 14 inches divided by 2 is 7 inches. So I'm going to place my tape at the midpoint and mark 7 inches right there. I'm not going to cut out the shoulder slope. It's optional. If you feel like you want to add and mark your shoulder slope, that's fine. But I'm not going to do that. Okay, my neck depth for the front is actually going to be 3 inches. So I'm just going to mark that there. So from this point, I would use my curve and connect the neckline, okay? You can still do that by freehand if you don't have a curve. Now this is my front neckline. I would go ahead and map out our back neckline, and the back neck depth is just 1.25 inches, and I'm just going to mark that from the shoulder point down to that point, and I'm going to connect it to the 3 inches neck width of the front neckline as well. Now this style is very simple, but as much as it is very simple, it can be tricky as well. So you want to put all your body measurements into consideration. Now from the shoulder to the hem of this dress is 38 inches. You can see that there. This would be the longest part of this dress, 38 inches. But due to our limited amount of fabric, as we go along the curve, as a circle, it may begin to get shorter because we don't really have a lot of fabric. But the mid part, the center back and the center front would have the longest length of 38 inches. Now we're going to determine our armhole depth, and I'm just pretending to give my shoulder a slope of 1 inch. So I'm just from the shoulder span, where we marked the shoulder span of 7 inches, I came down by 1 inch, just pretending like I'm giving this a shoulder slope. And from that point now, we're going to go down by our armhole depth. My armhole depth is 8 inches. So I divided my bust circumference by 6, 39 divided by 6, that would give me 6.5, and if I add 1.5 to that, that would be 8 inches. So from the slope now, I marked 8 inches downwards, and at that point it gave me 9 inches in total. But this gown is a very, very free gown. I want lots of ease, okay, and I know you would also want lots of ease, so I added 2 inches to 9 inches to give me 11 inches. From that point, I'll rule a straight line from the shoulder to our armhole depth, and I'm going to square this part, but it won't run up to the end of the fabric. Oops, I just realized that the lines aren't even showing. This fabric is quite silky, which makes it difficult for lines to show, so I'm just trying to make these lines very visible. Like I said earlier, this dress is going to have lots of ease. I want it to be very free and bogus. So whatever measurement you have, whatever body circumference you have the liberty to add as much inches as you want. If you want to add 3, 4, 5 inches, so far as your fabric would accommodate it, that is fine. So for me, I'm just going to add 2 inches on all the sides of this dress, okay? So my bust circumference is 39 inches. 39 divided by 4 would give 9.75 inches, and I'm going to add 2 inches to that, so that would give me 11.75 inches. So I'm going to mark that as well. So decide whatever you want to add to your body circumference and mark that there, and I'll be marking 11.75 on the armhole line. Placing the tape at the shoulder of the center front, we're going to take the tape up to the hem of that is 38 inches, and we're going to start taking the tape around the fabric. Okay, as we go along, we'll be marking 38 inches. We're just simply trying to create a circle, so we're just pretending to make a circle. So we keep on marking 38 inches. From that point, you do not move your tape away, just keep on marking 38 inches all along the fabric, to get to a point, like it has gotten to a point where I can't mark 38 inches anymore because the fabric we have is rather short, so we don't really have lots of fabric, so we can't mark 38 inches. That point I'm marking there would be the last place I would be able to mark 38 inches fully, but I'll go ahead and mark the next lesser number in the succession, perhaps 37 inches, 36 inches, 35 inches, on and on till I am satisfied. The reason why we're having this shortage is because we are not using sufficient fabric for this project. If you have sufficient fabric, you can even capture the 38 inches in full. So I kept on going lesser and lesser, and the last place I marked was 34 inches because I wouldn't want the dress to be too short at the sides. From the last point we marked, I'll begin connecting all the points in order to create a curve. I shifted the camera into focus and you can see the lines I'm making. This is simply what I'm doing, just connecting all the points together in order to create a curve. On a second thought, I decided to add 1 more inch to give the bust additional ease. You can't go wrong with adding more inches to this dress. From the point where we marked our bust, we are going to connect up to the 34 inches we marked at the hemline. So you just rule a straight line. From the shoulder line, you can see whatever you have as your extra, the remaining fabric you have is going to be your sleeve length. And you can see that my sleeve length is 18.25 inches. So that's what I have from point A to point B, from the neck, from the shoulder to the end of the sleeve. So my sleeve at my hand here, at this part of my hand, is going to be 18 inches. But as it comes down, it may droop. This part of the fabric here will determine the sleeves opening. As you can see, the sleeves opening from point A to B is 22.5 inches. At the underarm here, from this part here to this part is 17.5 inches. At this point now, I'm just going to mark the shoulder at the back. And if you've watched up to this point, please do well to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Now let's continue. Right now, I'll cut out the neckline as well as other parts of the dress. So I'm just cutting out both front and back necklines. So from here, I'm going to open up this and I'm going to fold this fabric the other way because I want to cut out the front part of the neckline, which is deeper than the back. Just as the inspiration, I'm going to give the front neckline a keyhole, and I'm going to fold the front neckline this way. And once that is done, I'm going to determine how open I want my keyhole to be. So I'm just going to go down by 4 inches because I don't want the keyhole to be too deep. And I'll come in by 0.5 inch and I'll just create a kind of oval shape there so I can cut out the keyhole. I have this piece of fabric that I have hemmed at the sides and at the base, and I'm going to be using this as my facing for the keyhole. So I'm going to fold this little piece of fabric and place this facing underneath the neckline we already cut out, and I'm going to follow the shape of the neckline and cut out on this facing in the same manner. And this is what I'll have now. I'll take this to the sewing machine and place the neckline this way, place the facing on top of the neckline, right sides facing each other, and then I'm going to stitch all around the facing this way. So after stitching the facing around the keyhole, I turned it backwards, and backstage I ironed this properly. This is how it looks like at the front, and this is how the facing looks like at the back. You can go on and secure the sides of the facing, either stitching it, tacking it, or using hemming glue. So for the sleeves, I want it elongated than 18 inches, and I have this fabric that's just as wide as the sleeves opening, and the width is about 6 inches. So I'm going to stitch this fabric all around the sleeves opening, okay? But before I do that, I'm going to hem the base of this fabric, and I'm just going to fold in about 1 inch allowance because I'm going to be inserting my elastic through this part I'm talking about now. So while you're hemming the base, you are also leaving 1 inch in between in order to leave a space for the elastic casing. Now I'm going to be inserting the elastic through this channel, and it will run through to the other end. Now the elastic you're using should just be about the size of your wrist, and I'm just measuring this, and that is how long the elastic would be. I'll do this backstage and I'll show you the results. As for how I drafted, cut out and attached the mandarin collar, I have a detailed tutorial on the whole process, and you may want to watch that. I'll be leaving a link to that video in the description box. I have finished inserting the elastic through the channels, and this is how it looks like. I'll go on and turn the fabric inside out, and I'll run a stitch from the sleeves down to the hem of the fabric. I'll do that on both sides, and we're done with the dress. You can go ahead and serge the base of the dress so you can have neat ends, and that's it, guys. This is the final result, and guys, if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please hit on the subscribe button, leave a like, share this video, leave a lovely comment, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.